Hello and welcome to another new episode of Learning Simplified. Today in this tutorial and in the next, we will be discussing on some CSS selectors. Stay tuned. First of all, we can see that in this index.html, this is the class name content holder, and this is the element within the block level element of div, which is using this class name of content holder. So we will be heading back to our style.css, and here we will be mentioning content holder. This is the class name, the same exact class name that we had used, and we will be mentioning this p tag. So what are we doing? The intention is to customize this paragraph element right over here. So let's head back to style.css, and we are mentioning that the background will be red in the first place. Then comes the padding is 1 rem. Now rem is a measuring unit which is practically being auto-calculated by our browser as a default value of 16 px has been specified by W3C. So right now it has been calculated, it has been taken care of, and as we are using this padding property, we will be using box sizing, which is border box, and the text align inside this individual paragraph element, it will be justified. So there it goes. Press Ctrl S. Now the purpose was to customize the paragraph element which is inside this content holder. Now in this index.html, we can see that the paragraph element, all those paragraph elements, those are practically present inside this div which is using the class name of content holder. It should be following these individual properties. So we may add something additional like the color of the text. It should be something like this one. We'll be using a white color text instead. Now if we head back to our project and reload, and now we can see that all the paragraph elements inside the specific div with a class name of content holder, it is following all the properties which we had depicted right into the style sheet element. There it goes. So the selector here that we had used, this is the first kind of the selector which is known as Descendant Selector. The general selector P, it is practically the descendant of this class name of content holder. So this is the type 1 selector that we had used here. This selector, it is known as the Descendant Selector, as the paragraph here is a descendant of this individual class name content holder. Now in this respect, I would like to say that if we come back to our browser, we can see that in this particular case, all of them are practically maintaining a constant margin into our elements. So this is not acceptable in all cases because we want to create our own customized HTML site. So in that particular case, the wise thing is, first of all, we will be assigning a default value of margin to every single element present into our HTML document, and then we will be recustomizing all those elements, those we require to change into something. In that particular case, if we wish to apply a general set of common values to every single element present into our HTML document, this is the part where we need to use this universal selector. Now you can see that we have practically used this asterisk, and then we will be depicting some certain properties here like this margin 0, and then we will be putting this padding 0. So all we are going to do, we have practically defined that the universal selector. That means any single element present into this individual HTML document, it will be having a default value of margin 0 and padding 0 applied to each and every element present into that particular page. So if we now press Ctrl S, and now if we head back to our project, have a look here that the margin is still on. This is due to the fact that we haven't refreshed our page yet. Now if we refresh our page, we can see that every single elements present into this particular page, it has no margin and no padding, but we had specified the padding property and the margin property for these elements inside, for these paragraphs inside, and that is why all of them are exhibiting some value of margin and padding within this div class of content holder. Here it goes. In the next case, we will be using another type of selector. We'll be seeing about it. So first of all, let's make a usage of that individual selector. So here it goes. Let's comment this individual Descendant Selector that we have created here. There it goes. Now we will be using the same set of properties here. There won't be any difference into it, but this time we will be using another set of property here. Can we see the difference? There it goes. This is the first type selector which we termed as Descendant Selector, and here this is another type of selector which is known as child or sibling selector. This means any kind of paragraph elements which is a direct sibling of this individual content holder class, it will be following these individual properties as been depicted here. Press Ctrl S. If we head back to our project and reload, we can see that pretty much the same thing comes into the place into this individual HTML display. The only difference is, in the first case we specified that any descendant of this individual div element, it will be having this set of properties, and now we have specified that any direct child of this individual parent holder which is known as content holder, it will be following these individual properties which is been stated right over here. Now at a first glance it might be confusing. It might seem to you that both of them are practically working the same, but this is not definite in each and every cases.